Let's talk about something wild. How an idea from a philosopher like 2,400 years ago is being proven absolutely right by modern science today. We're going to get into how to make decisions that don't just feel good in the moment, but actually build the life you really want.
Okay, let's just start with a question that I think every single one of us has asked ourselves. Why do we eat junk food when we're trying to be healthy? Why do we procrastinate on that big project until the last minute? Basically, why do we sometimes feel like we're our own worst enemy, making choices we know we're going to regret?
Well, it turns out this isn't some new modern problem. This internal tug-of-war has been going on forever. And the Greek philosopher Plato, that Plato, he had a really brilliant way of explaining it all. He came up with this amazing metaphor he called the chariot of the soul. In this one simple idea, honestly, it perfectly captures the crazy forces that are fighting for control inside all of our heads.
So picture this. You are a charioteer, and it's your job to steer two very different and very powerful horses. This whole setup, you, the driver, the horses, the chariot, that represents your soul, your inner self. And really taking control of your life, it means learning how to hold on to those reins.
So, who's the charioteer? Well, that's your reason. What Plato called the logistikon. It's the part of you that's logical, that analyzes things and thinks about the long-term consequences. It's that voice in your head trying to steer you toward what's true and good.
Okay, now for the horses. One of them is noble and white. This is your spirit, or thymoides. This horse is all about honor and courage and self-respect. It can be reason's greatest ally, giving you the willpower you need to do the right thing, but, only if it's trained well.
But then, there's the other horse. This one is rebellious, dark, and super powerful. This is your desire, the epithematikon. It's all your appetites for food, for pleasure, for comfort. It wants what it wants right now, and it couldn't care less about what happens later. This horse, this is the source of all our self-sabotage.
So how does this battle play out in real life? Well, let's say you're in a relationship you know deep down isn't right for you. Your desire and emotions, that's the rebellious horse, are screaming, "Don't leave, it'll hurt, I want comfort now." But your reason, the charioteer, is trying to whisper, "This isn't building the future you want." The right decision is the one that builds you.
All right, so that's the ancient philosophy. It's a great story, right? But here's where things get really incredible. Modern science has basically rediscovered Plato's chariot right inside our own brains. I mean, think about it. For thousands of years, this was just a metaphor, a really helpful way to think about our inner world. But now, with things like neuroscience and cognitive psychology, we can actually see the biological truth behind the myth. And the parallels here are they're striking. Plato's charioteer, his idea of reason, is what Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman calls System 2, our slow, logical, effortful thinking. Meanwhile, Plato's rebellious horse of desire, it's a perfect match for Kahneman's System 1, our fast, automatic, emotional reactions. And that noble horse, it maps surprisingly well to the parts of our prefrontal cortex that handle willpower and motivation. It's the same cast of characters, just with new, scientific names. To make this even clearer, let's look at another modern metaphor that just perfectly captures this whole dynamic.
The psychologist Jonathan Haidt describes our mind as a rider on top of an elephant. The small rider is our conscious, rational mind. That's Plato's charioteer. The massive elephant is our emotional, automatic, instinctive self. That's basically Plato's two horses rolled into one, especially that rebellious one.
So here's the crucial point. The rider, our reason, is tiny compared to the elephant, our emotions. You just can't win a battle of wills by force. Your logical brain can't just order your emotional brain to stop wanting that slice of cake. You have to learn how to guide it, how to persuade it.
So if we can't force the elephant, we have to learn to guide it. So how do we do that? Well, Plato and modern psychology actually give us a pretty clear, actionable framework for taking back the reins. Okay, let's break this down into 3 steps. First, you have to identify the speaker. Next time you feel that impulse, just stop and ask, who's talking right now? Is this my charioteer thinking about my future, or is it that rebellious horse just screaming for pleasure? Second, you need to empower reason. This can be as simple as just pausing for a few seconds. That little gap gives your slower, logical brain, the writer, a chance to catch up and actually have a say. And third, you have to train your spirit. This is where you bring your noble horse into the fight. Connect the rational choice to your sense of pride and who you want to become. Make it a matter of honor. So here are a few simple ways to put this into practice, like today. First, Try a 10-second pause. Before you act on an impulse, just wait. That's often all your rational charioteer needs to grab the reins back. Second, ask that key question. Does this action build the person I want to become? That one question forces your charioteer to look at the long-term map instead of just letting the horses run wild. Third, shape your environment. Make it easier for your reason to win. If you don't want to eat cookies, don't have them in the house. You're basically building a smoother road for your chariot to travel on. And finally, frame your choices as part of your identity. It's not I have to go to the gym, it's I am the kind of person who takes care of their health. See the difference? That's how you get that noble horse pulling in the same direction as your charioteer.
Ultimately, this whole thing comes down to a shift in perspective. The goal isn't immediate pleasure, it isn't comfort. The goal is long-term growth. The right choice is often the uncomfortable one, yeah? But it's the one that's going to pay off in the future you're building for yourself.
So the next time you're facing a tough choice, don't just ask yourself what you want in this moment. Instead, ask a much, much more powerful question. A question that both Plato and modern science agree is the key to a good life. Who do I want to become? Your answer to that, that's your guide.